here will be crucial in later life when the stakes are higher. Long arms for wrestling win fights, and females want winners. Rusty doesn't come out on top this time, but the boxing experience is invaluable. At this age, the learning curve for a kangaroo is steep and full of surprises. A sudden rustle in the dry grass spooks the gang he's hanging out with. But Rusty's the curious type. A shingle-back lizard, heavily armoured and with a thick tail that looks a lot like its head. Thus its other name, the two-headed skink. Rusty wants to know what he's supposed to do with this. Make friends? Try to box with it? Eat it? The lizard doesn't seem suitable for any of these activities, and Rusty eventually gives up on the relationship. This part of the Central Australian outback has been hot and dry for weeks. The plants have been picked clean. When food sources dry up like this, red kangaroos are superbly adapted to survive. Still, even they can't live without water. But something is happening 100 miles away. Where the sky has opened up and torrential rains are soaking the parched earth. These waters will end up in the Channel Country and be funneled inland hundreds of miles away from their origin. The channels are dry now, but because the region is low-lying, they won't be for long. And what was once an arid wasteland begins to revive. From the swirling flocks of budgerigars to the dingo mum and her pups, all are drawn to the life-giving waters. The young eagle flexes its new feathers. And a young kangaroo celebrates in her own playful way. Emus are water guzzlers, and adults can drink up to 4 gallons a day. Like all emus, the chicks revel in a cooling bath. There are some 500,000 emus roaming around the outback, browsing on fruits and seeds. And what's good for the emus is also good for the rest of the ecosystem. As they move through the bush, they scatter the seeds of the flowers and fruit they've eaten along the way, which will sprout and become new plants. The weeks turn into months. Rusty. Red kangaroos are built to get where they want to go. Unfortunately, sometimes, especially when they're inexperienced, they get someplace they really don't want to be. The inland taipan is the most toxic snake on Earth. There's enough venom in one bite to kill 100 full-grown men. And it specialises in killing mammals. The Australian desert is the kingdom of the reptiles, but kangaroos know too well to leave all snakes alone. Brown snakes kill more humans than any other snakes in Australia. But it's not the biggest reptile in the neighbourhood. This is. The Perenti, reaching 8 feet long, venomous and fast on its feet. A large Perenti will eat a small kangaroo. But today, it's got its eye on an eastern brown snake. The forked tongue of the Perenti follows the brown snake's chemical scent trail and leads him to an abandoned burrow. A burrow with only one entrance. With a Perenti in the picture, a sanctuary can easily become a death trap. The body of one fearsome reptile disappears into the body of another. The months roll on, and Rusty has grown in both size and experience. He weighs 150 pounds now and has dozens of sparring matches under his belt. Today, he finds himself with a mob he's met before. The one with the tough male who intimidated him last time. But that was 5 years ago, and Rusty's not running away this time. Each tries to attack his rival's head. Each instinctively keeps his own head back out of range. Although highly ritualized, fights between dominant males can mean a future as king or a loner, depending on the outcome. Testicles can be retracted. Don't want those damaged. Rusty, with the darker fur, is putting up a good fight, but the alpha male is more experienced. The females don't care who wins, just so long as he's got good genes. But Rusty is younger than his opponent and in top fighting form. Finally, the king goes down. Now the mob is paying attention. Rusty's the top male now, and to the victor go the spoils. His first choice is this female, though he needs to give her urine the sniff test to make sure she's ovulating. She's ready. But Rusty has only a brief window of opportunity. She may only be receptive for a matter of hours. Better get to it. Mating doesn't take long, or wouldn't if there were only one female to consider. But Rusty's got miles to go before he sleeps. He's King Kangaroo now, and in addition to regular mating duties, he'll have to fend off other young roos who'd like to knock him off his throne, just as he did his predecessor. But that's not all Rusty has to worry about. The temperature is soaring and the land is drying out. Evaporation is sucking the life out of everything, flora and fauna alike. You can never tell when the weather will change, only that it will. And that's the origin of some of the red kangaroo's most amazing adaptations. They're masters of heat regulation. The fur on their backs reflects about 30% of incoming heat and keeps their skin cool, the blue parts of this thermal footage. Spreading saliva over their forearms cools the blood, which has been brought close to the skin surface via a dense cobweb of capillaries. With temperatures simmering above 100 degrees for over a week, a third of the males have already become infertile. If these temperatures were to continue for 3 more months, the number would more than double. Reds defend their sperm by licking their scrotums to keep them cool. And in contrast to their battle strategy of retracting the scrotum, males let their testicles hang way down below their overheated trunks, keeping them about 7 degrees cooler than at their cores. The sand, even a few inches down, is cooler than at the surface. Red kangaroos dig until they reach cooler soil, and then, it hasn't rained in months now. The dry, dead grass offers Rusty